So for SAS temp, all the SAS temporary files will be stored in SAS work or SAS cache. Cache is a one default directory where all the disk cache location cache information will say stored. It is very high input output throughput compared to other disk directory, other mounts. It is very high input output throughput, means reading and writing to that disk needs very high speed. The input output means it requires very high speed for writing and reading the SAS temp directory. So SAS work is one another directory. It requires it is a very huge storage. It requires, we need to clean up this work directory every week. So for backup related purpose, we will use the one more directory for backups, but it's not it's optional. But these are all mandatory. These are all very mandatory. This is optional actually. So this is about the mount points. This is another diagrammatic representation. We have, these are the cache missions. N8 cache missions are there. Out of this we are the 8 servers are there. Out of 8, these two are microservices server, and remaining 6 servers are cache servers. So out of these 2 cache servers, we have two servers are one controller servers. One is primary controller, other one is secondary controller. So if you see, in every cache server, we have console server, configuration server for all. It manages all the configurations in the service server. Secret manager, it is a secret related information. It manages like passwords, keys, and everything. It is a leader in the sense we can call it as a controller or manager. It is a we can call it as a master slave architecture. It is a master slave architecture. So we are having one leader here. Infrastructure data server is a primary server, SAS message broker, Apache HTTP server. This is a third party server, third party load balancing purpose. Load balancing and proxy server, we are using Apache HTTP server. You can also go through some videos about Apache HTTP server, what it do, what is the main purpose, like that. You need to know about that. Why? Because we need to upgrade sometimes Apache services also, which are log4j and HTTP service, and these are the vulnerabilities we need to fix. So for that purpose, we need to upgrade that Apache services to avoid that vulnerabilities. So next, SAS configuration server. This is a host standby. This is a master controller. This is a secondary controller. PG pool server is a database server. Apache HTTP server is available here as well. Why Apache HTTP server only available in master servers? Other servers are not available Apache HTTP server. Why? Because it is connecting. Once you access the client application, client request will come to Apache HTTP server. This Apache HTTP server will check which server is available for least, and also it verifies whether you are a valid user or whether you are an attacker, like that. This is responsible. Apache HTTP server will take responsibility of the request. If you are already regular user, it stores the information about you, your regular user. So it won't take any action, like it won't cancel the request. It will directly enable the request for you and run the jobs. But if you are trying to first time, it will verify. It takes some time. It rotating like that. So why? Because it takes so much time means HTTP server is checking whether you are a valid credential or whether you are an attacker, like that. It is checking. So it will verify and it will assign the proper cache server to execute your SAS jobs. So next, SAS configuration server, secret manager, and operation server. These are the web application, web applications where we install the applications. Somewhere we install applications, right? Then only it will execute. It will we can able to access using URL. Where we install those web servers are web applications are, we will install them in microservices server. SAS configuration server agent will run here in the microservices server. So programming runtime, environment servers and web applications and microservices. These are the services available here. And here, if you observe, these are the slaves. Slaves means where only their responsibility is they don't know anything except execution of jobs. Okay, they will only execute the jobs. SAS configuration server agent, here agent will communicate with the configuration server, and it takes the CAS responsibility, and it runs CAS jobs. So these are the basic architecture where we use the SAS services. And this is the basic architecture how client will interact with the SAS compute server. This is the first client, first time you are accessing the application. The request will go to Apache HTTP server, then it goes to compute server. Compute server interact with launcher server that is available in a data infrastructure server. Next, once compute server create the compute session, it will create the compute session like directly. Once session will create, then user can run number of jobs. So the user submits the code directly. Compute session, if you see, compute service and launcher service. Compute server and launcher server. These two majorly interact with the creating and execution the jobs. This is the basic architecture where we use. And log files, where the log files will be available means, if you see, all the log files for all the SAS applications will be available in OPT directory only. If you need any log file for SAS application, you need to go to OPT directory only. There is no other directory where it stores log files for the SAS. But in OPT directory, you need to go to SAS, and via next configuration, all the wheres, wherever you see variables, under variables only you can see log files. Even though system server logs also available under wheres only, variables only, but here also we have created one variable directory, and under variable directory you can see all type of logs, not only compute, not only launcher, every application logs will be available. All the service like web workspace server, microservices server, and CAS server, every application logs will be available here. So these are the log locations. Log locations are very, very important. So why means, if anything is going not on the properly, then you need to check the logs only, right? So if you don't know log file where the logs are located, it's very difficult to identify the issue. Everything stored in the logs only. So you need to know how to read the log files, and how to check the errors in the logs. Logs also very huge log files available, like 3 GB, 10 GB logs available. So you need to read them properly, and you need to check today's data and when the error is coming. Like that, you need to downgrade that issue to troubleshoot further. Next one is launcher server or launcher service. This is a script where this is a launcher service is major responsibility. It majorly interact with the compute server, compute service. So for this also script is available in etc or init directory. You can use Ansible command to stop the entire services at a time. So launcher service is majorly, it interact with the compute service.
Oh, Anil, your voice is breaking.
Hello. Anil, now it is fine.
Hello, Anil,
Hello.
can't hear you. Yes, Anil.
Hello. Now is it fine?
Your voice is not clear, breaking in between.
Oh, I think network issue. I think I don't.
Hello.
HTTP server will manage the security over the web access. So like outsiders or fault, some attackers won't able to access the environment. That is the main intention to use the Apache HTTP server. So secret manager is managing the passwords, and console server is the configuration server. It's a primary server where we have all the configurations and everything will be managed using this service. And cache locator and cache server. Cache locator and cache server, this is managing for cache, and cache is a historical data where user, if suppose one user is regularly using to the platform, those next time the server will store that information. So it won't need to verify again and again. The process connection establishment will make it easy every time. It won't take much time. So using catch locator, it will identify past 7 days or past 30 days data, and it will create the session immediately. And message broker, and it is the between two services, it will exchange the messages. And infrastructure data server is a database server where we use internal database to store all the SAS Viya related information. So now we already discussed about how to stop and start them using the services that is available in slash etc slash init dot daemon, initialization daemon. Even today we are also discussing how we are going to today we are also discussing how we are going to stop and start, which order, what is the order. So these are the major mount points which are available in Via. So we already covered in previous session, and this is the where architecture, how the machines, what are the services available in each server. This is the startup and shutdown order in the SAS Via 3.5. So now we already discussed all the services which are available in the SAS Via. So uh, first we know infrastructure servers. Under infrastructure server we have configuration server. First, while startup, we need to start configuration server. Why? Because configuration server manage entire platform configuration. All the configuration files will be managed by configuration server. So it is first service we need to start. It will be designated using inventory.ini file. This is mainly we have three files like inventory.ini, site.yaml, and host.ini files. These three files are very important in the SAS Via. SAS configuration server will use SAS inventory.ini file, and we need to start the server, which are the primary controller. Next, secondary controller, we need to start configuration server agents, all the servers, remaining other hosts. So next, secret manager. So this is we need to follow strict order while stopping and starting. So secret manager, this is a vault application where we store all the password related information and token keys and SSH keys. Why? Because we need to use these passwords and SSH keys to log into the application. So we need to start this application first actually once the configuration server is up and running. Next, message broker. To exchange the messages between the two services, we use this message broker. And database server. Next, Apache HTTP proxy server. Why? Because using this one, user able to establish the connections to the cache server. So next, all the other remaining services. While startup shutdown, we need to follow reverse order. Why? Because there is a dependencies are there in these servers. If we shut down other services first, if we start up other services first, then it will start configuration server, it won't bring up. Why? Because there is a, we need to follow strict order. We need to bring up this service first. Every service is down, then only it will bring up. Why? Because this configuration server, without this one, even this services also won't start actually. There is a dependency for the previous servers. So if we are not aware of this process while stopping and starting, but we can also use via start all script. These are the all services which are present in this server. Then we need to execute this script, so it will automatically bring up with order. So next, we need to bring down all the services except these remaining these 6 services. Then we need to stop one by one. HTTP proxy service, infrastructure data service, message broker, and secret manager configuration server. So this is the very strict order we need to follow. In grid environment also, we have one strict order to we need to follow. That there is a three tier architecture like metadata, compute, and mid tier. So while startup, we need to start metadata, then compute, then mid tier. While stopping, you need to stop mid tier first, then compute, then metadata. So that is the order they need to follow. But here also, it is a very strict order we need to follow while stopping and starting. Next, you have any doubts in this? If you have any doubts, let me know. Any services related doubts? Okay, we will go to next very important this one. It is a log file. So we need to identify the logs where the log files are available for which each service. Log files are very very important. We need to know, because if any service or any issues with the computers or jobs related, or login user able to not log in, then you need to, without logs you can't do anything, without even we can't do any next step also. So managing the logs, reading the logs, and identifying the errors is very very important. So these are the default locations where the log files will be available. So OPT SAS is a default location for installation directory. OPT is a installation directory. Next SAS, next we are installing grid. If sorry, Via. So if it is a grid, it will come here grid under configuration directory. This is not an installation directory; it is a configuration directory. After installing SAS Via or SAS grid, we have two directories. One is installation directory, one is configuration directory. Under configuration directory, all the files related, log files related information will be there. So if you see here configuration directory, then where variables, under variables you have logs. Under logs you can see different services: launcher service, compute service, and compute server. Compute server is compute SRV. So the up to here the location is same. After that, by you need to navigate which service is issue. In the issue is in which service. Depending on that, you need to navigate and you need to open the default log file. Default hyphen the date, today's date, it will be generate every day. It will generate one log file. Using that log file, you need to open that in different modes like read, less, and more, vi. These are the different commands, cat, linux commands we have. So using those commands, you need to we open that, and you need to read all the today's connections. How many connections are there? If it is a very huge file, then you need to search with that file using error in the log. So they, according like that, you need to navigate to the directory. These are the very important. This one up to here, it is common. After that, you need to navigate to the particular service, which service is issue is. So if any issue in the system or any issue with the user, you don't need to go anywhere. Like, you need to first start troubleshooting the issue, connecting with the user, then identify the issue, which service. It's a compute related job is not executing, then you need to go to compute, then you need to verify today's log. You need to ask user try again, then it will generate again one more log. The log file, it will clearly mention what is the error, whether the password is wrong, database password is wrong. Like that, you need to check the log, then you need to troubleshoot further. Once you understand the error message, then you need to search in the web pages in the Google or somewhere. Then how to fix, some information will be available. If even if you don't try to understand that, then you need to reach out to vendor. That is the process. You don't need to check with other team members or like that, but you can also check, but that is directly we should never ask blindly. By doing troubleshooting these things, next you need to ask somebody else. So these are the process. And next, operating the launcher service. So SAS where this been launcher service main task is, it will execute the compute session. This is the responsible to start the compute session. So this one via it's SAS itself provides some default script, right? So the script will location is in /etc/init directory. So these are the syntax. What is the how to run the launcher service? SAS via launcher default. Default is default directory or default log file. We can see in via end of the file name is default by every file, like every service also. We can see that SAS via up to here is common, default is common. Only it will change launcher, compute, object spawner, like that. So in different versions like Windows version, Red Hat Linux, and Ubuntu, we use different commands like sudo systemctl. This one is changed sudo service in enterprise Linux 6. RHL 6 we have using service command, but now system CTL, system control. system control, we need to give this command. So these are the status, stop, start, restart. These are the basic commands where we can check the status and stopping and restarting the service, individual service. If the service is not working, or if you see service is down status, then immediately you can use the script. You don't need to approach anybody. You just use the script. You just bring this up immediately without letting any. You can just inform to team lead or manager, then immediately you can start the service. So you even that but whenever you are bring down and bring up entire services in a maintenance window, you don't need to work on individual scripts. But if any user reported any compute session, like he can't able to connect to the compute server, or jobs is not able to properly executing, then you need to restart only two services. One is launcher, one is compute. By restarting these services, all the existing connections will be lost, like will be removed. Some users will log into the environment and they won't exit from the session. Because of that also it will be happen, like it won't create new sessions. So these are the example commands, how to stop and how to restart. Next, launchers. These are the log files where the log files will be available for the launcher. So this is a microservices. So launcher, everything is a microservice in Via environment. So this one, if you see log files, the OPT and SAS, these are the default directory where the SAS installation deployment is happening. Options, SAS Via, and configuration. Up to here, it is common, like variable log, it is common. Compute server, we already discussed where the compute logs available. Here only it is compute. Next, default. So this is if you understand the location up to here, it is common. Next, it is changing. So you need to remember where the SAS is installed. SAS will be installed in options directory, where all the third party tools will be installed in a Linux server. Options. So this is a default directory or default path for the log files. So next, this is a Windows log file. So in Windows Server also we can install the SAS Via or SAS, anything we can install SAS related application. So this is program files, program data. It is common. It is a installation data. Next, SAS. See, if you see SAS is here, we need to give the name SAS. Next SAS configuration directory. Next, you need to navigate to the uh, one second. I will go to this. Next, you need to navigate to the variable directory. Variable directory is a common for all the log related information. So log files are very, very important. Configuration files, log files are very important. So variables are, you need to understand, in variable directory, via logs will be available. Even in variable directory, slash variable, slash where, if you see slash where, the Linux operating system logs also available in a where directory only. Okay, so this is about operating the servers, shutdown and startup order. So here we are completing this topic. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.